And then with that as well, while we're speaking on Suicide Squad being delayed, we also got announcements that The Witcher 4 at this point is in development.
Hold on, I got this. Let me get this. Let me get this. Because Witcher 4 did make an announcement here on Twitter that it is being worked on a new game engine.
Oh,
Unreal Engine 5.
oh,
So, I had the pleasure of speaking with one of our close friends, Mr. D Rain, aka Kyle Torin, aka Mr. Upset. Purdue lost to a 14 ranked team. So this is a huge partnership with Epic Games. Unreal Engine 5 is go ahead and be partnered with Epic Games, and then, the platform engines is being built on. They're leaving Red Engine. You know who also has a huge partnership with Epic Games, Greg?
who has a large partnership with Epic Games?
Yes.
Everybody.
Everyone does, but
Everybody. Yeah. Because, I
everyone.
mean, it's like in like
Everywhere.
70% of all. Yeah. But who in
70.
particular are you referring to?
Sony.
Oh, yes, they do, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Sony has a huge investment into Epic Games. You remember how they dumped a sizable chunk of money into Epic Games a couple years back?
Mm-hmm.
That can play a major role into not an exclusive game, time exclusive. This can play a role in some Sony influences because, Sony has Sony's petty bag in which they can do Sony things. And then, of course, having on a PC and Sony starting off, that's going to balance in which, again, the acquisitions that Microsoft has. Lady Gunner, how do you feel about the announcement of Witcher 4?
I'm excited. I didn't get to play Witcher 1 and 2, which was on Xbox at the time. I don't know if it was on PlayStation,
No,
but
I
I got
think
to
that
play
I
it.
don't think I think they were only on PC.
No. Witcher
They
1 and
was,
2
Was
was
it?
on
it was on
Xbox.
Xbox,
It
or
was
at
on
least the
Were they
Xbox.
on
second one was
Xbox?
on
Yeah.
Oh,
Xbox.
okay.
Mm.
At least the second one. And the third one, I loved it. Like, thinking about streaming it again probably next month and like doing a whole playthrough, but I just love the whole open world and like I could cut my beard and change my hair, and I really love how you can cut your hair and everything just grows back. It just made it more realistic. But
Are you
if
talking
they
about
could
Arthur
put like
Morgan and the
huh?
Vanderling gang?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Red Dead,
But
by
if
the way.
they can make it multiplayer, like you and your friends hunting monsters like together, like not deep Monster Hunter game, but like you Witchers and like if they can make you customize like male or female Witcher type thing, I feel like it really take off. It took off by itself with just the story and the open worldness of it. Like it was so many side quests and sidelines to do it. Like Witcher is like Horizon Zero Dawn, but like totally different, like monster versus machines. But like the concept, if you ever play Horizon or Witcher or both, you'll understand like just
Yeah.
the open world and different things and maps and armor. Basically, it's just so much to do in that game. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, especially in Forbidden West, like the the DNA of The Witcher 3 in particular runs deep in Forbidden West in the way that the side story plot lines fall into play. But Lady Gunner, I'm gonna have to go on the opposite side here and say this because we have enough multiplayer games in the world. You leave Geralt and his masterfully crafted single player narrative experience alone. The only thing that The Witcher needs to do is they need to fix their boring combat so that I will appreciate the game because that
I
combat
love
system was
that too, but
bad.
imagine
What it started off.
even if they just make it two player. If it's you and Nick got a monster coming up behind your back, but then Nick coming there with his little Witcher swinging sword, she ain't like he got your back.
You know
Like
what I would say to him? I'm gonna use that right out of log stick to turn towards Nick, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, bro, take yourself back to Elden Ring. This here is a single player game."
So this is what I'm gonna say. The only thing Witcher needs to be added is one simple thing and one simple thing only. Toss a coin to my Witcher.
Oh,
Add that.
that should be the theme song.
Are you
Add
So
saying Are you saying GTA strip clubs? Is that what you're saying?
I
Oh,
mean, I'm not. com- I'm not saying no.
yeah. I mean, like in all seriousness though, like I think that the even like the magic system and the potion system in The Witcher was really dope, but the sword gameplay was just bad. Like I need some depth.
The more
Like
you
You
get
mean it's
into
like
it,
bad?
the more you get into
I
it,
mean, I
you
just
had
could not.
this surface level. Like the game is definitely. If you wasn't into The Witcher starting off, Witcher 3. It was a massive game with over 300 hours of
Oh yeah,
content. That was beautiful. The game was great.
and I played like 40 hours of the game and loved what I got from it. But it was like I had more fun exploring, engaging in the narratives, meeting the side characters, so on and so forth. But every time I had to fight something, I was just like, oh gosh. Like I even enjoyed tracking the monsters and things of that sort. It was literally
Yeah,
just
fighting.
fighting them where I'm like the cast, like spelling, casting spells and fire and using different spells to like brainwash and manipulate people in battle
I,
and in stories were super cool. But this sword gameplay, which is one of the prime mechanics of this game, was just like a I'm not going to say it was like bad, but it was like 6 out of 10 range. And like I didn't need that. I needed more. Like give me something out of this. Make the sword combat as deep as the potions and the magic systems, and
I feel
I
like
will
you're
play that
being
game for the rest of my
selfish.
life.
300 hours of gameplay plus in-depth
Oh
storyline and
no,
side
no, no, no,
quests,
no.
and you're talking about the sword fight?
I mean, because guess what? If you don't have fun with the game, what is the purpose of being there for 300 hours? Because guess what? How many hours have you put into Destiny?
Oh,
If you if you
I
don't
have to
know
go
it
to
exactly,
Destiny
just a
Tracker for
guess.
that.
No, just a guess. That's fine.
Just a guess.
Well over 1,000.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Well over 1,000. So let me ask you this: if Destiny still had the same melee combat, they still had the same weapon selection, they still had the same supercharges. However, the actual shooting mechanics were not tight and felt good. Would you have wasted as much time with Destiny as you have, or invested? Wasted was a poor choice of words. But would you spend the same amount of time on that game if the shooting was just kind of meh, but everything else was pretty solid?
If the story is grabbing my attention, if it's fulfilling that empty gap of that 6 to 10, if it's filling that empty gap of that four little points, yeah.
So
You
check this
still would have
out.
gave it 1,000 hours, not having fun with the primary
G,
combat mechanic.
Lady Gunner, can I come to your defense as your lawyer,
Mm-mm.
please?
Go
I'm,
ahead,
I'm,
go
I'm,
ahead, because
where's my
I'm
lawyer,
smelling
please?
some BS
So
in
check
the
this out.
witness
Say I'm
stand.
gonna kill this real quick. Lady Gunner, people didn't notice this. She said, out of all the storytelling, all the things that you can do in the game, you want to talk about swordplay? Swordplay. I don't know if, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if anyone is into basketball and basketball players, that was 100% a reincarnation of Allen Iverson saying,
You want to talk about practice?
"Practice, practice." Out of everything here, we gonna talk about practice. That's what we go. Lady Gunner did that to Greg just now, ladies and gentlemen, and therefore the case is closed. Lady Gunner said swordplay. You think I care about the swordplay out of everything else that I can do?
Everything, the monsters, the graphic, the detail, the stiffer. You can kill monsters and put them on your horse. And you're
Yeah,
talking about the 6 out of 10 sword fight
yeah,
and you can
yeah.
pause. You can switch magic. Oh, a monster's attacking me, right? Full motion, switch magic, and it slows down. I can be like, boop, 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 boop. All right, I'm finna flame you. I'm finna flame you up, like. And you talking about the sword
Yeah.
fight?
Because
The
the
fact
sword
that she
play is
did
the
the hand.
primary mechanic of the game. I'm sorry, man. Like, I mean, the same with you, Nick. If Elden Ring was the game that it was, but the sword gameplay in it was not great, would you be as in love with that game as you are?
I will
Well,
make
he's
a
the spice, so it really don't
sir.
matter.
That's
Yeah.
that's like me saying that I love Sonic, but if the game was still fast, but the platforming was shitty. Oh, that's one. That's probably the only one this episode because we're almost done anyway.
Yeah.
would I still be in love with that game? Absolutely not. That's why only some Sonics are games that I love, and some of them I just check out because I'm a Sonic fan.
So so you can't use Elden Ring because Elden Ring doesn't have the greatest fight mechanics because if we're being honest, Sekiro probably has the best swordplay fighting mechanics of any Souls game ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's not even.
Guess what? And guess what happened with Sekiro? It was voted for the first Soulsborne game ever to be a mainstream game of the year.
Yeah.
Because why? It had tight mechanics all around. Okay,
That's great. But then
that's all I'm saying.
But Bloodborne was still one of the game of the years. Like it was voted like one of the best Soul games of all time. So it digress.
But also that had tight gameplay and fighting mechanics. Man, you know that. You know the fighting mechanics in Bloodborne were A1. That's why
A1. Okay. It was okay because let's be real. There was a couple weapons and frame delays of certain weapons that definitely got on my nerves. And the counter was something you had to get used to. I enjoyed it, but there's nothing like bashing someone's sword away and stabbing them in the chest.
But see, but this is what I'm saying. There's a difference between mechanics that might be a little difficult to grasp, like the parry system in Bloodborne, versus the game where you learn the mechanics, and even after you learn them, they're just kind of sort of all right. And that's all I'm saying. And that speaks. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, and that's fine. But Witcher 4, please fix your sword combat because it was not great, and that's the only thing in my opinion that's stopping this game from being a 9 out of 10 to being a flat out 10 out of 10.